Okay. Anyways, this should take care of itself in the background. And down here is first slide. I'm glad I called. I don't know where he went though. From your slideshow, Lisa, you'll have to just hit escape to get to Adam. Yeah. So he got treated. Yeah. I can take that back. He's like, yeah, it's just in the key thing, and then he told me. I was like, okay, yes, we can see. Cliff's working on the wall. I couldn't get it open.
I was gonna say, I thought we had both sides.
We do. It's just in here, and then he disappeared.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is he working on it remotely, or?
No. It's good, but I don't think it's that good.
I have people on the phone about City Hall.
Oh, you don't sound good.
I may have caught what my husband has been doing in my house.
So good about sharing their germs.
I've been trying to convince myself for like the last week that it's just allergies. I took a look at my throat this morning.
Oh no.
Hi, Celeste.
Hi, Chris.
Sorry to hear you're feeling
Oh,
out.
thank you.
I know. Monday.
Yeah. My husband is.
Yeah.
Really?
Here. Oh.
The prednisone and antibiotics now.
I feel like I hardly see you anymore.
I know.
Miserable.
Only because of the snow.
Yeah, exactly.
That would
Yeah, this
change.
week and last week.
Could
They're weird.
stop.
Yeah.
Tuesday into Wednesday.
So this is his first respiratory thing this winter, but
Thankfully, my mom is flying in today to Boston, so thankfully they like
Oh, well, there's plenty of snow for them to see.
I think we're gonna go snowshoeing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have to do that.
There's,
We gotta go.
Apparently they do.
you can do that, or if you go to,
30 or 40
what's that
days.
that's in Gray?
Is it pen?
Yes, Pineland, or I think Smiling Hill Farm has it
Oh,
too.
do I have it too?
Yes, but, and you can rent them, and that's like $12.
not at all.
I don't know how much play against.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I want to see snow. I feel like that's the best way to do it.
Okay.
I guess.
It's so
I'm in
fun.
Boston today, so I'm driving down there to spend the night in a hotel room to drive me back up. Figure out the streets.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah. But my mom sends a direction. It's awful. So interesting if they actually find what they're supposed to do in Boston.
Oh no.
Wow, this is like.
I was gonna say, you're really struggling.
I really am. I think it's stuck there forever.
I'm just saying. And work it.
That's the important one.
I'll work it.
Sobers.
Got it.
I mean,
You gotta-
Oh, Haley just said she can hear us.
Oh.
read this article last night. Caught 10
Our hero has arrived. Yay!
And one sober. And they could think like that. They said, sober. In the middle of.
But then, oh my gosh, last night I went to Walmart.
I know.
Talk about this. To get groceries for my mom. And the only thing my brother really wanted was blueberry bagels, and guess what I forgot? The blueberry bagels. So I had to get those this morning. But then I was thrown off because this lady comes up to me and like shares her entire store. For money. But then in Walmart
Ask you for money?
she's like, I'll give you a $15 gift card.
That was kind of.
Trade money in cash for it, for gasoline to go to church in Auburn. So I said,
No, it's probably for.
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I felt so bad. So I gave it to her.
Yes. How much?
$20.
Okay. That's, yeah. But did she give you a gift card?
No, I told her not to worry about it.
No, it's just.
No, you didn't work anyway.
I usually don't do that, but it was like something in me was telling me I probably should.
Well, then maybe it's legit. Yeah.
If you call the hotel if you want that I'm staying in with my kids, I was like,
Oh,
she went elaborate.
probably, but you never find that it wasn't.
Yeah.
I've always been pretty.
Might not. Yeah. I mean, did she look?
I invited her to church.
Oh.
You what?
Oh,
What if she showed up? That would be so cool. That would be cool.
oh, it would, yeah.
She won't, and she got drunk.
Or you'll see her on the side of the street over here collecting
Or
money.
she died because she shot up here.
With your $20.
You are so nice.
I forgot. No.
You're so much, you're a better person than all of us. I normally
So nice.
Because I'm like, just,
do we want to make one? Yeah,
money.
$20. And she was gonna, the lady was gonna give her back a Starbucks gift card, and she said no.
It was a weird thing, but normally I don't do that.
Yes, I don't even give a shit.
No.
Talking about my coffee. You know it's like a heroin. Right.
Side of the road, when Treble Street gives out ribs.
Yeah.
They have what they need.
Yeah.
I should spend that time standing on the road looking for a job. That's how I feel about that situation.
Yep, I agree.
Go work at Walmart.
Yeah.
You are such a good person. No, you really are. No, but you are just such a nice person. So kind.
Because of, let's be honest.
Move a little closer. I have a cold, so I just wanna, in case up they can't hear me.
Go on, coming out.
There's not as many.
But you know, a big part of the reason they won was
What are they playing? You're gonna spend the night by yourself?
No, I'm spending the night with them in the hotel.
Oh.
I'm just driving by myself.
too bad they had to leave their office.
It's swollen. I mean, it's sore, but it's good.
If Brady ends up retiring for this season, then it'll be like this.
No. Oh, leaving Sunday. Oh,
83.
My understanding is in that last special,
it's like the best though.
he did not sound like a
It's funny talking to young people. They have no idea how bad the Patriots were.
No, I remember. When I was a kid, my father was if they were 500.
No, Haley, it's because she texted me and said, I can hear you and Jennifer.
Ever heard of Matt Kavanaugh, Tom Owen?
Oh, no. Well,
Garland?
no, it's not. Well, it's
Huge
different now when you're right.
My younger, I was also on the West Coast. Definitely.
I wonder if it was
But my dad was a telecom man. Hey guys, who's on the phone? It's Lex. Sorry, I just want to see who we have already here.
Hi, Ashley and Angela are in Yarmouth.
Thank you.
It's Haley at home.
Haley at home. That could be a TV show.
Asha at home.
Tasha. We're there.
Yeah. Should we check it?
She thinks she'll be in the bathroom.
It was 8:03.
How are you?
Good.
I think we pretty much have it. Perfect. Sorry.
Okay, we can
I'm gonna let you guys.
Yeah. You're welcome. Good morning, everyone. For those on the phone or on WebEx, this is Lisa Crockett, and then with me I have Chris Casey, the HR manager, and then we also have Glenn Tullock, who is one of our insurance brokers from Cross Insurance. Today we are here to talk about open enrollment. It is the season. So I hope all of you received open enrollment package, or if you haven't, you will shortly. But those are in our office earlier this week. So what we're going to talk about this morning are a couple of things. So I'm just going to go over just a real quick brief summary of all of our benefit plans, what we still offer. Then talk about some notable key changes to our health plan. So just for you guys to kind of keep note on a couple of changes. Then I'm going to talk about how to compare our two medical plans, so how to choose the best health plan for you or your family. Your last step is what your step is for this open enrollment, and then of course answer any questions you have. So there's really no significant changes for our new benefit year, which is going to start May 1st, 2018 through April 30th, 2019. We are still with Anthem, Blue Cross, and Blue Shield for our medical insurance, and we are still offering the 2 medical plans, the Blue Choice PPO and the High Deductible Health Plan. We are still pairing each of those medical plans either with the health reimbursement account, and that's managed by Group Dynamic, and health savings account is also still managed with Benefit Wallet. Our dental insurance, there's no change with our carrier. We're still, I'm going to say we're still in Northeast Delta Dental, and our rates have decreased. Just to go over some employer-paid benefits, if you are a regular full-time employee, at no cost to you, you're provided with short and long-term disability, and that's still with the Hartford. And remember that short and long-term disability are for non-work related occurrences, so surgery, birth, things of that nature. Group term life insurance and also the group accidental death and dismemberment insurance, also known as AD&D. This is also an employer-paid benefit for anyone that is part-time or full-time that works at least 20 hours or more per week. And the coverage level for each is $25,000. So that's still at no cost to those that are eligible for those plans. Then we have our voluntary, or also known as supplemental, term life and AD&D. So this is where you have an opportunity for this open enrollment to either purchase additional coverage, decrease your current coverage, or remove your current coverage. So this is still offered through the Hartford at an additional cost if you are interested for you, yourself, or your dependents. We have also the healthcare flexible spending account, and this account currently the IRS limit was $2,600. It did increase by $50 to $2,650. And it's managed over to Dynamic. Dependent care flexible spending account, this is still for dependent and elder care expenses. The IRS maximum has not changed, so it's $5,000 or it's $2,500 if you are married and you file separately. We also are still offering the employee assistance program. So this is the confidential service for you and your immediate family members, so counseling, legal, financial resources. And then the one other benefit that's not listed is our 401k. So still know we still have our 401k retirement plan with Fidelity, and you would do anything that you needed to make changes online through your Fidelity website. All right, so going into health insurance, some notable changes. Starting with our PPO plan, I'd like to announce that every 2 years for adult preventive eye exam coverage has now changed to annually, so it's regardless of age, so it does mirror now the High Deductible Health Plan. So this for adults, so this is a change that happened where you can go every calendar year just to get a preventive exam. Then to the High Deductible Health Plan. So the IRS had made a change with the deductible limit. So for an individual or a single plan, currently the calendar year deductible is $2,600. It is now increasing to $2,700. And then with the family plan is currently $5,200, is now increasing to $5,400. So just to note that. Now switching back to the PPO plan, just keep in mind that after May 1st, no longer a fourth quarter deductible carryover. So just know that whatever deductible expenses you have through the end of the year, those will not carry over. So starting January 1st, your deductibles will start and reset again, brand new. PPO plan, just on the pharmacy side, the Tier 4, which is more of the specialty patients, currently it's a 20% co-insurance. It has increased to 30%, and there's been no other changes to the PPO pharmacy tier. So that's just one note to keep on the pharmacy.
So that routine exam is just the PPO plan?
There's both adult preventive eye exam coverage on both plans, but with the PPO in the past, for adults, anyone over 19, the coverage, for that coverage to be covered every 2 calendar years, but now it's just one. So
the high deductible plan, is it yearly or?
Yes, regardless of age.
It is, okay.
Yep. All right, so going into what is the best health plan for you. So a couple of things I just want to go through an exercise to have you kind of think about factors of what to consider. First is your historical use. How have you used your health plan in the past? And about potential use. So do you have a surgery coming up, for example? Also, your biweekly contributions. So the new rates are in your open enrollment packet, so you know those new rates are not changing. Those are a fixed amount. So it's kind of doing some math on your end as well to kind of see which plan makes sense. Thinking about co-insurance, deductibles, and your out-of-pocket maximums. So your out-of-pocket maximums and co-insurance on both medical plans have not changed. But remember in the previous slide, your deductible on your health plan has changed. But the PPO deductibles for the county did not. So you kind of have to look at information again, kind of weigh your options. Specialty office visits and urgent care services. So on the PPO plan, these are co-pays. So you kind of factor that in. And then, you know, on the high deductible health plan, services would be applied to your deductible and co-insurance. Then this kind of the other factor to think about is prescription drug benefits. So we're going to talk about the 2 pharmacy plans on each medical plan, but just thinking about your benefits for you and your family members and what that would look like on each plan. So going into kind of some other things to think about is the high deductible health plan is still paired with the health savings account. Intermed's contributions are not changing, so those are staying the same. So for $1,000 for an individual, Intermed is still going to deposit for the full benefit year. Remember, that's deposited into your health savings bi-weekly. It's prorated, so it's $41.67 every 2 weeks. And for a family plan, it's $2,000 that Intermed is still putting in for the full benefit year, and that proration is $83.34 bi-weekly. You can also put your own pre-tax dollars into your savings account so you can help build your funds. And you can increase, decrease, and stop your contribution anytime throughout the year, which is nice. Our flexibility option behind the health savings account is the way it rolls over every year. So any unused funds that you don't use at the end of the year, that will carry over. And Lead Intermed, it is a bank account that you manage, so the funds in that account are yours to take with you to be able to use eligible medical, dental, and vision expenses. To the PPO plan, that is still paired with the health reimbursement account. Contribution from Intermed is still the same, which is $1,250. And so remember that the reimbursement starts from the first dollar, and it's just reimbursed for those that are services being applied to your deductible on the PPO plan. Another option to think about if you are considering the PPO plan is opening up also a health flexible spend account. So this account, you would select an amount for the entire benefit year, and this could also be used as a way to pay for your medical, dental, vision expenses, pharmacy, and co-pays. For any further information, refer to your employee handbook, and it kind of goes in a little bit more detail about each of those plans. Into our prescription piece. So high deductible health plan, there's no change to the way pharmacy plan works on this plan. There's still going to be 2 options. So a preventive medication kind of bucket and a non-preventive medication bucket. So in your Anthem booklet that you received in your open enrollment packet on page 23 and 24, that is your new list for what's deemed preventive on the high deductible health plan. So those items would be, those medications would fall into the preventive medication, which would be 100% covered. Medication is not listed. It would be where it would be non-preventive, so it would be applied to your deductible and co-insurance. Going into the PPO's pharmacy plan. So the tier level has not changed, and the co-pay structure has not changed, except for in the previous slide, tier 4, the health percentage changed. So to show you kind of what the tier look like again. So it starts with tier 1A, 1B, 2, 3, and 4. I'd like to share with you real quickly is to show how to navigate where you can search for the PPO medication. So I actually have Anthem's website up. So switch screens here. So if you go to anthem.com, under the menu option, under search medications, under the essential drug list, it's going to be the second bullet, the middle option, the essential drug list 4-tier with 1A, 1B. They make a lot. So scroll down, you can, definitely try to search for it down here or by alpha, but I'm just gonna type in, I've been making the same one up every session so far, so I'm just doing it there. I've not changed it, it's just my go-to, I don't know why. But so it's like the first medication that pulls up. So the reason why I wanted to show you is because of status. So you're gonna see an icon status here, which shows that this medication that I selected falls under Tier 2 on our PPO's medical pharmacy plan. But I wanted to kind of also show you that further down, there's an icon list of different colors and different possible statuses that you might see. If you end up having a medication where an NC or an F fall, that means the drug is not covered. So you'll want to definitely speak with your provider to talk about alternatives. So this is just kind of another way when you start kind of comparing plans, just to kind of do some research, just kind of see possibly what tiers under the PPO that it may fall into.
How to tell what we covered, like if somebody uses this and they want to see what an alternative would be?
It will actually show you that if your drug is non-formulary. So.
Do you want me to do like EpiPen? Do you think that would pull something up?
I'm trying to think.
So if somebody like logs in as themselves and checks that med, it would show
right. Probably not the way it's
just going to say here's the alternatives that are covered.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You look it up for the.
You can. I think the reason we're send PPO plan is, for the most part, it's not a preventive medication.
Mm-hmm.
Under the high deductible health plan, you're paying the whole cost that goes to the deductible anyway. So the tiers don't really matter as much.
Oh, okay.
That's
preventive, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Right. Here is if you're taking a type medication, let's say, that you're going to take, the idea would be to jump in here to see what it's going to cost you on the PPO plan each time you get it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
And, you can also do research on other alternatives if you want to.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the definition of a preventative med? We're like all down here, and I'm like looking at these guys going, what's a preventative med? Because aren't they sort of like, by definition, meds are kind of preventative? So I guess I'm just a little confused.
Sure. Yeah, because it's the term preventive is used differently when it comes to medical services versus pharmacy.
Right.
Yeah.
Under high deductible health plans, the IRS has a safe harbor for what's considered preventive services, vision as an example. And basically over the years, carriers started using that safe harbor to allow for members to get medications under high deductible health plans without being subject to the deductible. The concern being is that if somebody has, for instance, diabetes, that subjecting those claims to the deductible would result in lower utilization, which is obviously not in anybody's best interest. So in that sense, there's a list actually in the Anthem booklet, and that's also available from the website, and that basically takes you through classes of medications. So you're talking asthma medications, diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, things like that.
Thank you.
Yep.
And it's currently in that Anthem booklet that you have, so let me know if you have questions when you're looking into it.
And there's no pay for that, right?
Right. Good question. All right, so this is just an exercise that is completely made up, but just to kind of show you an exercise that useful when you're comparing the two plans. So what I have put together are some services and what that looks like per each medical plan. So I kind of added some pharmacy, which two medications that fall potentially into Tier 2. Urgent care service, lab and x-ray, and a two PCP visits. So you can kind of see the cost of each, and then under the PPO plan, you can see that my total cost of my pharmacy is $840 on the PPO plan, and the high deductible health plan is $2,500, which is applied to my deductible. For my lab and x-ray, so those are both going to be applied to my deductible on both medical plans, so you see the cost there. And then my total claim cost per plan. So I have $1,590 on the PPO plan and $3,750 on the high deductible health plan. They also have to factor in the biweekly contribution. So this is a family plan. So the current biweekly starting May 1st is $323 pay period. And then the reason why you see a 24 is just we're still going to be taking the premiums out 24 times for the year, not 26. So that increases to $752, and the same with the biweekly for the high deductible health plan is $239 for a family plan, and that increased to $5,736. Subtotal on the PPO plan is here in bold, it's $9,342, and then my deductible health plan is $9,486. So then I have to remember that I have those pairings with each medical plan. So on the PPO plan, remember that's paired with the health reimbursement account. So that $1,250 that's in that health reimbursement account is going to reimburse you for deductible expense for the from the first dollar. So the only deductible expense that's being applied on my PPO plan is my lab X-ray. So that is $375 because it's half of the amount, so you get reimbursed 50%. So that's why it's $375 as a credit. So that brings my total for the PPO plan, my total cost down to $8,967. Going to the higher deductible health plan, I have to count credit the $2,000 that I'm just doing what Intermed has put in for the full year. So that would subtract and actually decrease my total cost out of pocket to $7,046. So, and this is just a hypothetical exercise, but just to kind of, it doesn't have to be in a spreadsheet. You can do it on paper. But again, these are just an idea of where to go and kind of get started, because you know the plans are pretty similar in most of the plan designs, which just is, and about your cash flow. What are you comfortable with? And you know kind of the risk and out-of-pocket expenses.
We sort of encourage people to do is this type of an exercise, which is difficult in some instances because you don't know what you're going to have for services over the coming year. So we also encourage people to sort of think about the different nature of the two plans. The PO plan, you have more taken out of your paycheck in order to participate in that plan, but when you incur services, you have richer coverage. Versus the high deductible health plan, you have less coming out of your paycheck. You do have the funds going into your account, and you have the opportunity to put money in the account as well for when you incur care, but you're taking sort of a little bit of a greater risk in your own health care over the course of the year, although that's mitigated by the fact that both plans have similar out-of-pocket maximums or worst-case scenario. But also the high deductible health plan arguably provides you a greater tax savings opportunity because of the fact that, yes, $2,000 is going into the account, but you have the opportunity to put money into that account as well, which is going to go in on a pre-tax basis, and it's always still going to be your money. So for those individuals that are looking to save money on taxes, particularly if you have faith, you can put an additional $4,850 for 20 on top of the $2,000 that Intermed's putting in, and you're not paying taxes on that money and saving it for a rainy day.
Can you, on the Anthem website, if you elect to have the high deductible plan, are you able to log in and see how far you are along towards your deductible? Okay. Yes.
So just to talk about the health insurance rates real quickly. As you probably noticed, the health insurance rates have increased, but they have increased for employees and also note for Intermed. Intermed continues to pay over 75% of the health insurance cost, and Intermed will pay over 75% of this year's health insurance cost. So that's kind of what has happened for this renewal. And just to give you an idea, just on the cost of family coverage, it's over $24,000. So I just wanted to give you a number of just how expensive coverage is. Going into kind of some trends for you about the current, your biweekly and the two plans we offer with the rates. So the first four line items are the high deductible health plan and each level of coverage. So the first column on the left, the 2017-2018, is actually the rates that you are currently paying. And to the right is the new rates for May 1st for the new benefit year. So you can see the increase right there. then to the right, it starts with what the increase is per level of coverage for the high deductible health plan. Last 4 line items are for the PPO plan. So the rate increase has been between $8 and $38 per coverage. Doesn't look or probably even feel like it, but most of this year's increases are actually less than it was last year. So we do a lot of, throughout the year we do look at our trends, we do an analysis and comparison. For the renewal, we bring in Glenn's team to help with our renewal, to kind of compare, go to market. So Glenn's going to talk about next, kind of the benchmarking and where we got to for May 1st and how we got there. So I'll pass it along to Glenn.
Sure, thanks.
You're welcome.
So as Lisa sort of indicated, it was a challenging renewal cycle in terms of the rate increase. And when that circumstance comes up, the employers sort of struggling with, how to address that, and while trying to protect the retention and recruitment value of the health insurance plan. So one of the things we did as part of this renewal was a benchmarking survey of 10 prominent southern healthcare employers. So it included hospital, health, Spectrum Medical Group, Martins Point, and 6 others. And what you see here are the results of that in terms of employee contribution, deductible, and employee contribution to HSA, showing intramed MOS versus the survey average. And we're taking a look at the health insurance premium, so it's broken down between the 2 plans as well as the 4 different election types. And you'll see that in 5 out of the 8 measurements, Intramed is less than the survey average. And 2 out of the 3 Intramed is higher have to do with employee and spouse or 2 adult coverage. Well, that's simply Intramed actually taking a look at what is actual risk that these 4 tiers represent. Take a look in most populations of those 4 tiers of coverage, which one actually produces the most claims cost. It's actually the employee and spouse tier, which seems counterintuitive because it's only 2 people versus families which are more than 2 people. But the fact is that in most populations, that particular tier represents an older average age. And that tends to be the most indicative characteristic of healthcare cost. If we look below that at the annual deductible amounts, you see for the high deductible health plan, it's actually less here in Intramed than the survey average. The PPO plan is slightly greater, but very similar to the survey average. The employee contribution to the health savings accounts, $10 for Intramed, a little bit higher for the survey average, but fairly reflective of each. And the $2,000 contribution for family is slightly higher than the survey average. So all in all, the plan here is competitive with what other southern Maine healthcare providers are offering.
We look at this type of data every year because when we get our health insurance increase from Anthem, it's always the hard part figuring out how the company is going to just pay for and how much we're going to pass on to employees. And this is the type of data we look at to try to figure out what's a reasonable amount to pass on. Well, this year, the overall cost I'll share with you went up by about $800,000. Intermed paying about $600,000, and then about $200,000, give or take, is being passed on to employees. Wanted to pass on increases that we felt were reasonable. As noted, the increases this year in most cases are less than last year. We're talking about $2,700 deductibles and so forth. It's hard to believe, but we're finding with this data is that our health insurance plans, both how they're set up and what we charge for them, is pretty much in the middle of the pack as far as what everybody else is doing. But we look at that stuff every year because obviously it's important that we do the very best we can to our competitive health plan for our folks. So.
Thank you. All right, so kind of closing up the presentation, your steps for open enrollment. In your open enrollment packet, please review all of your materials included in that packet as well as your individual benefit summary, so it actually shows you what you're currently enrolled in. So just to kind of review that and then see if you'd like to make any changes for May 1st. Enrollment is actually open now, so you're more than welcome to complete the form, which is still online. But the closing date is April 6th, so that's an important date to remember. We are asking that all of you still participate in open enrollment, even if you are deciding not to make a change. We'd like to have everyone participate, and then you'll have to either, if you're currently in any type of flexible spending account now and you're interested in, again, for May 1st, or if you'd like to open one up for the first time, you still have to enroll in a flexible spending account for open enrollment for May 1st. So that's a re-enrollment. We're also offering a sign up for one half-an-hour meeting. So if you like some individual time, we are offering that the week of March 26th. So if you're interested, if you would like to email benefits@intermed, we'll get you signed up.
And remember, even if you don't take health insurance from here, I get this question a lot, you still have to go in and do that because there are other things that you're automatically enrolled in, like your short-term, your long-term disability and those things. So even if you don't have health insurance, everybody needs to go and touch the form.
Yeah, thank you. So if you have waived or opting out of our medical or dental, we'd like you to still participate. Thank you for noting that.
You're welcome. I just, a couple of people say, oh, no, I don't need it. No, you need it.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the end of the presentation. Any questions?
When you said you have to re-enroll in like a flexible savings account, is that the same thing with the HSA?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah. Good question. But wallet is still the big account, yeah. If you are new to the high deductible health plan, you'll have to enroll with wallet for the first time and open and activate your bank account. But currently have a health savings account with Benefit Wallet, you don't even take any action.
See, it's a little bit further. If you're in the high deductible plan, you're automatically in the HSA.
Right.
There's your own monies. If you put your monies in, you jump in or out anytime you want. That's one of the nice things about an HSA is you can then put some money in it for a while and jump back out, jump back in. An open enrollment thing, you can do that anytime.
Thank you, and if you guys certainly have questions after today, let us know. But you're welcome.
If you're not changing anything, can I ask a question? If you're not changing anything, you go in to sign up, do you have to anything else again, like social security numbers, beneficiaries and all that? Or you just click stay the same or whatever?
Yep, so on the enrollment form, it's pretty easy. There's no social security numbers for you, but if you're adding a dependent, we'll need those. In fact, in social security number and date of birth, but no beneficiary forms or anything. If I'd like to do one, let me know and I can email you.
Everything again.
Oh, yeah, no, it's just a form. Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you for asking. Yeah, sorry.
Good to see you, everybody.
Thank you, Lisa.
So I have a meeting right now, and then I'll be over at, you might have to start that meeting.
All right. Guys on the phone, if you can't hear me, I apologize. I'm a little bit croaky. So we're going to move the phone a little closer, but hopefully you'll see if you can't hear me. All right, so some of this stuff I think I can kind of blow right through, so I will attempt to do so. I'm clicking, oh my God. There I go again. You know I do this wrong every time. So KPI review, I just wanted to check in with you guys because I think G's done a fabulous job out in Malaya and Yarmouth, but just to make sure and get your feedback to make sure that you're comfortable with the stimulant contract in particular, the workflow, to see if you're encountering any barriers to getting that done, to see if you think your workflow with your provider is working, or if you need us to help out at all. I did find out, just so you guys know too, and I just got responses from Patty, we were noticing that there were some kiddos who really needed a contract over at Foden, and for some reason they weren't on the report. They had been on a stimulant, so I took some screenshots and sent them to Patty and realized that the way that the KPI methodology is set up for this year is any patient who's received 2 scripts in 2018. So if the patient hadn't had a script yet in 2018, so I asked Patty to add to the, because I think that's just silly in my mind. If that kid had prescriptions all through 2017 and they're continuing, you know you're going to need a contract in 2018. Why wait until they've shown up 2 or 4 times when we could just get it done? So the exception report, the daily report, do you guys all know where that daily report is? It's like R14 something something. Anyway, if you don't know, make sure you check with us because we'll show you where that daily report is. It has both the PHQ numbers for your depression screen and the KPI. Going to add so that it went back to 2017 so that you would see if the kid had already had a script in 2017. Assume this is second script beginning 2018 and just go ahead and default the contract. So that feel like it's working?
I missed that meeting with Megan that went over the workflow, so I don't really know.
Oh, well, hey, guess what? Megan's right at the end of the table, and I know she would sit with you.
I just remembered that.
And so can you maybe, do you guys mind tagging up? Because she did a great job presenting, and she's got, like cold. She'd do way better than any of us would. But make sure we get you up to speed with Molly, because we could be doing it for Molly, too, and catching some of the primaries. So. And the depression screen, as you guys know, there's no change. So making sure that you guys are getting the teen screens back from the providers so that you know the number so you can drop it in the structured data is most important. So if there's any, if there's any trouble that you guys are having with any of that, or you feel like you're not getting the stuff you need from the providers to get those in there, let us know. But you guys are killing it. So, this is my, I'm so not worried. Look, there's some providers who almost have met the contract workflow, and we're the second month in. I was like, you've got to be kidding. That's how good you guys are, seriously.
For the KPI specifically, is it just the PHQ-2, or is it also the sort of algorithm where if there's a certain number on the PHQ-2, then
That's a great question. It's just that it is legit that we asked the questions for the 2, that we documented the questions for the 2. The rest of the workflow, obviously, we want to follow because that's best practices. So if you're seeing a score that's alarming, then moving to the PHQ-9 is definitely, that's where we need to be. But in terms of the KPI and what you're seeing for the measure, it is actually whether or not that patient came in was eligible because they were 12 and over, or is it 13? I always get the teen, 12 and over, right? If they're 12 and over, and we ask the question. Yep. So just a quick update, sort of, fully staffed. For those of you who haven't had an opportunity to meet her, hopefully we will get her over here, but Michelle Rotundo started with our NEO, and she is taking Dr. Foster's position that Christy Legassi stepped away from. Christy Legassi is still per diem with us, but is working at the hospital now. Kayla Alamo, thank you, Alamo, started with Dr. Kang. So it's up and running with Dr. Kang. We were able to hire a per diem new grad RN who will be starting at the very end of this month. Her name is Ariana, and then Danielle Gieb is, I probably said her too. She is a per diem employee who has been working over at Foden. She's a split between CI and PEDS, but they have been gracious and allowing her to help us out for our FMLAs, which is awesome. So she came from MMP, and she's fully up and running because that's what she was doing at MMP, so she was a really quick train. So that she's been an awesome resource for us to have over at Foden Road. As you guys know, Jen Hutchings is out on her FMLA right now. We'll have 2 pending FMLAs. Emily is out right now for a physician, but we have Carrie Crecilius, who will be going out, and then, as you guys know, it's okay, I can say something. We will have Rachel going out as well in August. Before or after my birthday? August 6th is mine, the day after my birthday.
Did you say Carrie was May?
Yes, Carrie is May. Those are the only ones I know of right now. I know, right? It's okay. We love to grow our family. As you guys hopefully have heard or know, Malaya has unfortunately given me her resignation, for which I am really sad. But understanding she's really had a struggle. Her husband, his job has now taken him away from the home a lot, and she just has no backup. Her mother-in-law hurt her back and can't be there to pick up the baby, and every system that she had in place kind of fell apart on her. So she's just feeling really badly because she hasn't been able to commit the time that she knows that she needs for coordinator. The good news is I'm working on something very sneaky to keep her on board part-time, and I think it's going to work. So I think that we'll still be able to see her just in a different capacity, but we do have a coordinator position open, so that's posted if anybody wants to take a look at that. We still have a posting for per diem and are still actively recruiting for per diem because, as you know, our per diem pool is shrinking a little bit with Sarah Price getting ready to finish school. Her availability has been less. Kirsten is really our core per diem right now and is working as much as she can, which is 2 or 3 days. So we're really short in the per diem pool, so we're still looking to beef that up, but recruiting has been hard. There are lots of, we're actually in pretty good shape, surprisingly, because IM is 4 or 6 positions down, CI is 13 positions down, and I gotta tell you, we're getting nowhere with recruiting fast, so it's really painful. So if you know anybody who might be looking for anything, let us know. Thank you so much. For all the coverage that you guys have given. Every time we've asked, I do that for myself. I am just so grateful because every time we've asked for an extra on the weekend, every time we've asked for somebody to cover an evening, every time we've been short, you guys have seriously stepped up to the plate in such a big way.
Hi, sorry. Christina, Dina needs to pick up for
Oh, poor Gina.
I'll catch up with you.
Okay.
I can see her up there. So really, I am truly grateful, and I know I don't get to say it often, and I hope you guys know how much I really mean this. I really appreciate it. I think the weekends are starting to slow down. We still are always looking for that coverage for anybody who wants to be consistent, just to get us through the end of the day. Gina's been doing a lot of that coverage right now, but I think that need will continue. But as the phones slow down, it probably won't be quite as necessary in the summer, but it is nice to know that we have like a PED-savvy person on for the day, and that's been working out, and it's been great. The providers really appreciate it, let me tell you. Just a friendly reminder, this is going out across the board because we're doing evals right now, and it just sort of brought to mind we've had to look at some attendance patterns as we're doing the evals. And I know this has been a really rough 6 season, so please know people are staying out because they're following protocol, and that is perfectly fine. I totally get it. The other thing that's really on the rise is a lot of last-minute requests, and they're not necessarily emergent appointments, and it makes it really hard for us to staff on the other end, and it also puts peers at risk. And so I had some really frustrated folks, and I totally get it, because people are off and then you're double covering. So just a friendly reminder, if you could please, as much as you can, look ahead and let us know. We'll never say no. We are always going to try to help. We know last minute things come. I know nobody wants to be sick and out, but just taking a look at things and making sure that, if there are any opportunities, if it's child, things like that, if you have opportunities to help out and still be here, it's really helpful, and especially like the last minute appointments, if you can help us kind of curb that a little, it would be really awesome. I brought the workflow because I'm the last person to do this, but we're having some trouble again, and I'm going to review this with admin too, with the workflow for rescheduling. So in particular, I know it's tricky because when you guys are on either in the morning or at night and a patient calls and they're like, oh, I want to reschedule my annual, it's like, oh, shoot, like, what do I do? I didn't know what to do. You can't copy and the preload stay. So the issue is, if you are rescheduling an appointment for a patient, if they come in and they say, they're calling you and they're saying, I was due for my PE, I really need to change that appointment, and the physician had already preloaded, or you guys, God forbid, had preloaded, it's you go in and just copy that appointment to another place in the schedule, everything that was preloaded gets lost. It does not stick. So the right protocol is that you have to hit cut. So cut and then a copy, not a copy and then a copy. Does that make sense?
But then when you
Paste.
You can't copy and paste. So when you are first on the appointment and I have the workflow there, but I can definitely have Jess come up and sit and do it with us if we need. When you're sitting on that original appointment, you know, sometimes you would look at that appointment, you'd be on it and you'd hit copy, hit cut.
I thought when you cut it, you lose the original, like.
Nothing. It's actually you do. So here's what you
can't track it.
You can, so that's where the copy comes in. So it's really counterintuitive, and I apologize. So first you cut, it hits your clipboard, you go and you pick the appointment where you need it to be, then you hit copy, and you go back to the original appointment,
and you paste
it back in the original.
No, previously it wasn't. This is different.
That we did not cut, and we would lose the original tracking of where the original appointment was. We were told copy.
Yeah.
I don't know if this made cut, if I apologize then. That's, so
that's why it hasn't been happening, because we were told you have to copy in order to be able to track.
And you're right, you do have to copy in order to track, which is why you have to go back and copy it back into where it was. Because the problem with the copy is you lose the, and I apologize for that. That's, trust me, that's ECW. Yeah, and certainly if it's really busy, like, I know that you guys have permission for this, and I know I've said it, and I know people feel bad, and it's kind of like the last thing they want to do. But if it is crazy busy, and you have a patient, and they're saying, I reschedule this appointment, take a TE and drop it in the admin bucket, and I will have admin reach out and reschedule those appointments. So there is no, there is no reason or pressure that you have to stick with it. You can hit rescheduled in its existing place, it'll stay. You can hit patient rescheduled, and you can put a note, patient called, needs to reschedule, TE to admin to contact patient to find appropriate placement, and then they'll take it from there. So it certainly is okay if it's really busy. Sorry, and we don't have the time for us to do that.
So to make sure I have it straight, so we cut the appointment, we put it into the new place that they want to be scheduled, then we're going to copy it into the original place.
That's stupid. You're going to copy it from the new place and
rescheduled and put the note of where it was rescheduled from.
Well, you just want to make sure that when you're copying it after you've moved it, and then you paste it back, then you mark it as rescheduled. That's the very last step.
And then you write notes of where it was rescheduled from and to in the old appointment and the new appointment.
Well, you can also
if you write it in one and you copy it, those notes will go with you, so you don't have to write the notes twice. That's why they say cut it, put it in the new place, copy it after it's in the new place, then paste it in the old one, because all your notes will go and you don't have to do the notes twice.
Yeah.
It's really counterintuitive.
And did Jeff say this is pretty much the only way to do it?
This is the only way. Gina actually, just so you guys know that we're not crazy, Gina had to call her yesterday and listen to this whole thing, because we had preloading disappearing, and Dr. Jennings was less impressed. I'm sure you guys heard all about it. So we were like, oh my God, because we thought we were doing it right. Like, we hadn't had anybody complain. So we went to Jess, and that's what she researched, and she's like, oopsie, this is the way you have to do it now. So I don't know when that changed, because I really thought we had a handle on that. Like, just like you did, I was like, wait a minute. Like, we just went over this, not that, and I thought we had it. So this is nobody's fault. I don't know if this happened maybe with the upgrade or something, but this is the one that's published in the manual, and that's why I printed it, because I figured I would need something to go by to do this if it were me.
Yeah, definitely.
And all the PSRs are being communicated.
Yes, we were.
And that means everybody should be able to see the rescheduled and canceled appointments on their screen. Because sometimes it doesn't do that. So then when I cut an appointment, it's gone. I can't go back in.
You're going to have to keep track of where you took it from day at a time.
Right.
Like some people have in their settings not to.
Oh, you. Oh, yeah, you would. But doesn't it go to your clipboard? I thought that what Jess said,
initial date and time.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, that's cool. So you have to remember.
Where you had it,
I'm
yeah.
really sorry, that's so dumb. I'll tell you all now, I think this is so dumb, and I'm really and I wish I could fix EW.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Practice later.
All right, referral talking points. The other, paper that I have copies for all of you, and I'll make sure I drop it into the shared drive or electronically as well. We're just being, this is information about how referrals are processed so that when we communicate with patients, we're sort of telling them the right information. So when speaking to a patient, they call, because I know you guys get calls all the time with patients will say, oh my God, I was supposed to get a referral to blah. And, and again, it's, we have a referral team and they have inordinate amounts of work to process for a very small team. So there is a turnaround time. And in most cases, it's not a big deal because referrals are not always emergent, as you and I know. Patients, not so much. So they wanted to make sure that we were clear if a referral is routine, it's a 3-day processing. So it's okay to tell the patient, it takes 72 hours for our referrals department to even process and send your referral to another place. If referral is urgent, they will bump that up and get it out within 24 to 48. If it's urgent, which means like you're saying, oh my God, this patient needs to get in somewhere tomorrow or today, we need to call the referral department to really bump up that processing. And they'll then take it from there and get back with the patient because it's an emergent thing. But let's be careful what we call emergent. I know sometimes the providers tend to get so hassled that they say, oh my God, we really shouldn't be doing that. It's not fair to the true emergencies. If it's not an emergency, it needs to follow the process. So patient calls you, if you could just avoid saying, we sent your referral. Because it's so blanket, and then the patient thinks it's at the other referral place, and it's not. It could still be sitting with us. So in case, in this instance, if you could say, you can tell them our referrals department is currently working on the referral, and within 48 to 72 hours, we'll send it to the specialist. And then the process is that the patient will get a robo-messenger call letting them know that referrals with the new specialist, and the specialist will contact them directly. The only to that is hematology, oncology, and psychiatry. They don't get any robocalls. They get reach out from either our referrals or the referral specialist directly. But any other time, they'll get a call that lets them know your referral is complete, it is with the specialist, and the specialist office will be contacting you. Or they give them the specialist number and say, you can now call and make your appointment.
Is that new?
I think the robocall's new because I didn't know anything about that.
People always call and say, I haven't heard about my referral, and then we look and say, oh, it's at the specialist office now.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be that, the specialist either will contact them directly or the phone number will be provided with that robocall for it, and they'll hear, you can call the specialist at blah to schedule your appointment.
That's cool.
Yeah, so, any question about that? Portal, so just to let you guys know where we're at, we are rolling it out successfully at Foden. We have not really had any issues. I had no patient complaints. I have not had to be involved in any patient issues so far. It'll happen, I'm waiting. But so far so good. We're getting reports that tell us when patients need to come off if they're 13, so all of the processes seem to be happening. So we are looking to potentially roll it to Yarmouth in April and then come here to Marginal in May. So if patients are asking, we're trying to get them to sort of stick with the timeline because I think the process gets muddied if we haven't had time to sort of sit down with you guys and review it. So I really want the time to sit down with both admin and you guys to re-review the portal processes and what shows where, just so you, right before we go, you're refreshed and you know what you're going to see. So, I mean, if we need to, I can ramp it up, but I kind of like the soft rollout. I think it's working okay.
Just a review for the portal. Dr. Ricker, if we have TEs, they can't be seen through, right?
No.
Okay.
The only time a TE can be seen is if you hit reply to patient. If the patient sends a portal hit and is asking a question and you choose to answer the question through the portal, they will see that live in their portal, but it doesn't stick. They just see your answer, but they don't see any other TEs. That does not, though, mean that he should continue his ever so lovely comments in the middle of a TE, which are discoverable in litigation, if he's asked. I think that's it, right?
Yes.
Did you guys have anything? You guys have, we have 4 minutes. Woo-hoo.
Your last slide.
Concerns? I
Yeah,
know, I
that's way
keep like,
wrong.
I'm like looking at everything like,
It's 8:55.
sweet. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. I'll hide in my office and try not to share my love.
Oh, don't touch anything.
Oh,
Hang on, I'm recording it, just in case.
here, touching. I'm trying to be ever so.
I know.
I'm gonna go get
Recording, please.